Good morning. Welcome to a beautiful morning. At the weekend, my niece ran the Great North Run, and it got me thinking. We always see the videos of the starts of those races, where the gun goes off and everyone's on the start line and they burst forth and start to run. But the reality is that actually there's a relatively small amount of people who are on that start line when the gun goes off, generally the elite runners who are actually racing, as it were. For the majority of folk, it's the big crowd that is behind, and for many of them they'll be running for 20-25 minutes before they even cross the line to start. And in a way, that's something of the journey of faith, that for most people, before they ever get to the point of making a decision about, do I believe this, do I want to follow this, do I want to be a Christian, most have been having those conversations in their head with other people, with God, for a long time. And it's a process that they are going through. And along the way, even after the start line, there's many who get a cramp and have to start walking for a bit, and they're not really sure they're going to finish it, and there's a loo break on the way and all sorts going on. And again, that's the journey of faith. And we were talking the weekend about what Holy Apostles is really like as a church, and the importance of being clear about who we are and what we are. Because the clearer that we are about what we are as a church, the easier it is for people to make a decision as to whether this is a community that they would like to grow their faith within. And the churches across Cheltenham are a wonderful mix, a mosaic of churches, excellent churches doing all sorts of things, the core the same, but the expression often very different, and we need to make sure that we are our unique self within that mix, doing what God has called us to do. And part of that is this idea that church is not the bricks and mortar, we know that, but our church is not just the gathered community of faith that might call themselves Holy Apostles. It extends beyond. It's a whole load of folk that are actually not even aware necessarily that they're part of Holy Apostles, but we're aware because as we go about our daily business, we're bumping into them. If we're having interactions with people, very often that's because God has drawn them into the circle of Holy Apostles. They're part of the church, whether they know it or not. And it doesn't matter that they haven't crossed the start line yet. We join in with conversations that have already started. So we have to get out of this mindset that when we think that here's the church and these are the people who are in, and then beyond that, these are the people who are out. Or sometimes, I spoke at the weekend, that we might think that, there's a little group of people who are sort of demi-Christians, who are sort of knocking on the door and thinking about coming in. They're hanging around the outsides of the church. Again, that's not really what's happening. Many Christians actually spend very little time in the church because they don't particularly like being in the church. They much more enjoy being with non-Christians or being with Christians outside. And so the church is a much bigger picture. So today, whilst you're out and about, even right now, be thinking about who God might bring into your circle, who you might be bumping up against, and the conversation that might already be happening between them and God. Enter that conversation with respect and humility. Listen more than we speak, but be ready to be part of the kingdom of God, not simply the church community of God. Recognise that those folk you're speaking to, they may very well be there because God has chosen to draw them to you.